Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Oktavia Margareta. In this video, I want to give explanation about classification of linguistics. So here we are. Okay, first I want to explain about linguistics. Linguistics is a study of languages that includes analysis of various elements of language because of the form, meaning, and context. And linguistics is divided into three. First is macro, and then second and this micro, and then the last is aspect of linguistic. Okay, first is macro linguistic, the linguistic field of interdiscipline. First is phonetic, a linguistic branch that investigates the income, transmission, and acceptance of language sound, which are produced by speech tools found in the oral cavity and used to represent meaning. Phonetic studies are divided into three. Those are articulatory phonetics, acoustic, and then auditories. Okay, first is phonetic articulator is phonetic who sees the sound of language in terms of how it is produced. And then second, acoustic phonetics are phonetics who looks in terms of the mouthtic sound. And third, phonetic auditories is phonetic who sees the sound of language in terms of its arrest. And then second is sociologistic is the study of the relationship between language and behavior and the instrument of human intelligence. And then third, that is linguistic anthropology or anthropological linguistics is a linguistic branch that studies the relationship between language and culture primarily to observe how it is used every day as a tool in social action. 4. Linguistic ethnographic linguistics is the study of the natural environment and culture of language society using field research techniques. 5. That is linguistic sociology or sociological linguistics is a language investigation that holds on to the view that language cannot be separate from the social context of the human, and which links language analysis with the person's disclosure or group. 6. Neurolinguistics is a study that attempts to understand the brain's operation to process language activities as psychologistic, but has a different focus. Next is philology is one of the oldest branches of linguistics specializing in comparative historical linguistics, which is the field of study of language kinship and language change by comparing various languages. Philology studies focus mainly on ancient texts written on paper, leather, or bamboo. Next, statistic is a branch of the linguistics that focuses on the analysis of figures of speech. Stylistic studies tend to discuss writing language as well as literature. Next, that is language philosophy, linguistic philosophy, like that, is the science that examines the nature and position of language as human activities and the basis of conceptual, the theoretical linguistics. Next, that is epigraphic is a branch of linguistic science that studies the content of the inscription. Most epigraphy is studied by an archaeologist. Next, that is paleography is a branch that learns the language in relation to the perception of ancient writing, especially those from medieval interpretation of ancient writing. Next, that is semiotics, are branch of linguistic science that learn the language in relation to symbols. Okay, next, that is number 2, applied linguistics. Applied field are the studies that seek to review the language to apply to other words. Included in the applied file is first, medical linguistics is the applied linguistic field that includes language disabilities and so on. Medical linguistics is also called language pathology. Second, that is education, is linguistic known as pedagogical linguistic, not of the applied linguistic range by the increase in the language efficiency of teaching by providing a comprehensive description of basic processes and by using adequate teaching methods. And then the third, Lesson 6, Forensic Linguistics, is the staple of the applied linguistic branch relating to the law. Forensic linguistics are used to investigate crimes, that particularly the creation of language data. And then fourth, lexicography is a branch of applied linguistic science that includes the method and technique of dictionary drafting. And then fifth, that is translation is an applied linguistic field, includes the mediational transfer method and technique of language to another. The main objective of translation is to produce a translation that is as possible to be with the original script. And then sixth, applied sociolinguistics is the applied linguistic field of learning the application or use of language in social communication. 7. Graphology is a linguistic study of the symbol system used to deliver language message in the form of letters. Graphology specializes in what type of symbol is selected to form a system, how many symbols are used to transfer the language into the written form, how the rules of use of the symbols so it can be used to write down our language. Okay, orthography is the spelling system agreed to a language. Number 2 is stenography, the system writes briefly and quickly. And third, cryptography, the system is writing down secret message. And then fourth, paedography is the writing system especially designed to help children learn to read. Fifth, technography, the system writes the specific things for the benefit of skin, such as phonetic as for linguistics, special symbols for cinemas areas, specialist cryptographic symbol to create maps, and specialist symbol for computer programming. And then 8, that is teaching language, is the applied linguistic field that learns the language for the interest of teaching language processes, both the mother and foreign language. 9, that is mechanolinguistic or linguistic computing is an applied linguistic field that includes linguistic use for computer science and effort to make translation machines, utilizing computer in language research. And then 10th, that is language coding, is the applied linguistic field that learns the language for the language of the conscious and obedience to the applicable rules. And the next, medical linguistics, is the applied linguistic field that learns the language to be applied in treatment. And then 12th, applied phonetic is a branch of applied linguistics since the student the sound and is used in practice. Okay, the next second is macrolinguistic. Some of the objects for discussion are phonetic and phonology, or the sound of language, that is morphology, the formation of word, syntax, sentence formation rules, and semantics meaning of word. First, we discuss about phonology are the studies that discuss the process of speech. Phonetic explain how certain sounds are produced both in terms of quantity and quality. Phonology is a common linguistic field that studies the functionality to the linguistics of identify the word. The object of research phonology is a phoneme, namely the sound of the language that can or function distinguish the meaning of the word. That is second, morphology is a linguistic branch that analyzes the structure, shape, and formation as well as classification of words. The object of the research is morpheme, the smallest grammatical unit that has meaning. Example of morphemizes is the pituity, for example, me, like, and other, or particle boo. Next, syntaxis discusses the word is conjunction with other word or other elements as a unit of unlawful. Things used in syntax include syntactic structure, including problem of function, category, and syntax rule, and then syntax units in the form of word, phrase, clauses, sentence, and discourse. And then things related to synthetics, such as mode aspect. Okay, next is semantic, or linguistic branch that studies the meaning of language. The things that are spoken of in semantics include the nature of meaning, meaning of relationship, meaningful change, and other things related to the meaning of language. Okay, the last we discuss about aspect linguistic. Okay, aspect linguistic. The linguistic aspect of linguistic editors have several aspects of the phonological aspect, that is morphological aspect, synthetic aspect, semantic aspect, and pragmatic aspect. So that is my explanation about classification of linguistic. So I hope this video can useful for you guys. Maybe I'm sorry if I have a mistake from my pronunciation or my explanation, because I have I have learn more about this. So forgive me. The less I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye guys.